Okay, so after Jeff, I would like to introduce you guys to uh, Koi. Koi is a teacher trainer, and teacher as well, based in Vietnam and Thailand. He believes in the power of sharing. That's why he's here today, actually. So he usually says that he has learned so much from others, right? That's why he see it as a mission to pass, his like this legacy on. So he wants to continue his sharing as well. That's why he's here today. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Um, so to kick things off, I want to start with a big yet simple question for our kind of discussion today. So first of all, as our topic today is energy management, right? So I want to start a question. That is, what does energy management to you? And I think how about we start with Jeff first? Yeah.
Sorry, can you please repeat the question, I guess?
All right. So the question is, what is energy management? Yes, to
Okay,
you.
what is energy management to me, right?
Yeah.
Well, I will say very simple and it's to be very, or it requires to be very careful about the activities and the things you put your attention to. Because whenever we try to do things, we need kind of like a fuel to those things we do. So energy management, I think, is like choosing very wisely where you're putting your attention, right? Or to what or to whom or all of that. Because sometimes we can say that we tend to pay attention to things that are not that beneficial. Sometimes I scroll on TikTok for 3 or 4 hours, for example. So that is not a very wise energy management. So I will say something like that.
Okay, thank you. So it's like a wise decision, right? Where to use your energy. Okay, thank you so much. And how about Coin? What is it? What does it mean to you?
Hi, thanks for having me. Just checking first. Can you hear me well, Joe?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay. I think of the phrase energy management as a form of self-love because um, when it comes to energy, it's always about, like Jeff said, like to pay attention to whether you are making the right decision of wasting your energy or not, or is it about giving the appropriate amount of energy to other people? So I think it's a way to practice self-love. Mm.
Okay, I think that's a beautiful way to describe energy management, I guess, right? Okay, thank you so much. Um, so can you tell us more about like what are the basics of energy management that everyone should know? Yeah, the basic like okay, when you hear the word basic energy management, what are the basic things that we need to know? And how about we start with Jeff? Yeah.
Okay, because I want to continue the idea that Koi said because it's really interesting and it's actually something that I've been practicing for the past month or so. So one thing that I have learned, and it, of course, is based on my experience and based on the things that I practice with my therapist and the sessions I have with her, is how you start your day is very important for the energy of the rest of the day. So one of the things that I've been doing, like I told you, for 1 month or so, is I avoid to using my phone for the first hour after I woke up. Sorry, yes, after I wake up, because that way I'm not overstimulating my brain and giving dopamine immediately, so it gets like hooked on doing these kind of things, right?
Mm.
So not using the phone for 1 hour after waking up, it's incredible. It's one of the things that I have seen that it is such a small thing, but it will help a lot, right? Um, I'm a big coffee addict. So also try not to drink coffee first thing in the morning because again I will get overstimulated. And trying to do some movement, physical movement. Maybe you have 10, 15 minutes to wake up, to do a little walk or something after waking up. It's so good. And the final one, which is also very important to do, get some sunlight in the morning. I know these days we are very worried of sunlight and trying to protect ourselves, of our skin and everything. But the first sun rays in the morning for 10 to 15 minutes will really be very beneficial for your energy and the way you can get throughout the day.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you so much. How about Koi? You wanna say anything about the basic?
Yeah, I really like the idea that Jeff talks like energy management starts with the very basic or the very simple things. Also for me, I think of the basic is know what you are. And because right now, sometimes it's very, because the world is trying to push us to understand about other people. Like we have to know what kind of clients or what, for my case, what kind of students am I teaching or things like that. But sometimes we forgot that who we are and what we want in this world as well. So the first thing is to know you. Um, and like whenever I think of this one, I think of the source where we can get the energy. And when I think of this one, I think of the spectrum of whether you are an introvert, an extrovert, or whether you are an ambivert. So where, because for me, as I am an extrovert, I draw energy from other people. So I know that if I really want to get the energy first thing in the morning, like Jeff said, I always go somewhere that I can get the energy from the people. Or if I am in a if I just put myself in a room, like Jeff said, start the morning with the phone or don't do anything, it will be draining my energy. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for your discussion. So I think so far we've been talking about something called physical energy, right? Like for example, we should uh move our body, right? Hi, can you hear me? Because my screen froze somehow. Anyway, so for example, from what Jeff said, we need to be careful about what we do in the morning, right? Like don't use the phone in the morning so that your brain is not stimulated too much, right?
Mm.
First thing in the morning, right? And then move your body and get like a sunlight in the morning. And because of course I did some research based related to this topic as well. So according to my research, there are like four pillars of energy management, and I think so far what we've been talking about is uh mostly, I guess, right, physical energy, right, physical like energy management. That's the first part, and I think physical energy is the fundamental part, right? Of course, like when you are angry, you cannot do anything. When you feel sleepy, you can do anything. So it's like the basic needs, right? Of four. I mean, out of four energies. So I want to keep talking about that first, right? So physical energy, and then we're gonna move on to a second thing called emotional energy, and then third, mental energy, and then lastly, we're gonna talk about spiritual energy as well. So actually, for today, we're gonna cover like those four type of energy. Okay, so let's keep talking about physical energy. Mm, so right now, so we have talked about mm, exercise, right? And when it comes to physical energy, I think the basic parts are like what you eat as well, like the nutrition in your body, and also of course sleep, right? To to sleep really important, and exercise. So I want you to share, right, your experience or how maintain your, for example, let's start with diet first, like nutrition, how you know start to eat in the morning to keep your energy. Okay. Okay, this time, how about we start with Chloe?
Oh, okay. For me, as I am a morning person, so morning is a time that I will function really well. So I really need the source for my body, also like for the fuel for my body to get up and work as well. So I would say I would start with a very big breakfast. I know that some people here they don't eat breakfast, but I don't know how they can survive on that. But for me, like breakfast has to be the biggest meal for me. And also be I feel like if in the morning, like what Jeff mentioned, I like to go out and have a walk, very easy and slow walk in the park, absorb energy from other people, and also to get, get exposed to sunlight. For the past few days, my legs are not working quite well, so that's why I didn't have a chance to walk in the park. So, and I can feel that it affects a lot on the energy the energy for the whole day. Yeah, so I would say that a typical day for me would be in the morning has to be walking around, get in the sun, and then get a big breakfast so that I can start my day properly.
Mhm. So a big breakfast, right? Big breakfast.
Hmm.
Okay, related to that, I think I want to ask Jeff, right? Like for example, what kind of food should we eat in the morning? I mean, that's also an important question,
Hmm.
right?
Okay, I'm going to talk in a very general way, right? Because I'm very. This is something that I'm really interested. Like I mentioned before, this is something that I discuss even in my therapy about the food, because it's an important element for everyone's life, basically. You know what food, and but I want to discuss this because August said something like, "What kind of food should we eat?" And it is important to know that there are food that should we eat, but uh, our food cannot be perfect. It's impossible, because if we really want to have a good relationship with food, we have to know that food does not only function as something physical, but it also has an emotional component. Like we're talking about energy, so food also represents emotions and other kind of feelings. So sometimes when we eat chocolate because it makes us happy or because it has good memories, bring us back to childhood, all of that is as important as the physical benefits that food gives to us, right? So what I can say is in the morning, as Koi said, yes, we need to fulfill our needs with our food. And also in the morning is the best time because our body needs more energy because of the fasting that it went through on at night, right? So it's the moment that we can take a little bit of advantage. And for people like Koi and for most of us, it works well to eat a lot, right? Or to have a big meal. If you like a sweet tooth, just try to reduce to the minimum possible, or maybe satisfy your sweet tooth with some fruit or something like that. Is quite beneficial. Include protein. Um, Actually, no food is really bad. It depends on the portions that you eat, right? So try to be very mindful about that. And like I said, mix things. Mix something that is good for your health and put something that you know will make you happy, because I know we're going to talk about the emotional energy later. But if you start your day with something you like, of course, your energy and your emotions and your feelings are going to be better in the day. But if it's something that we consider bad because maybe it has a lot of sugar or other not so beneficial elements, just try to make it small, not the big portion, not the main ingredient of your breakfast, because of course it will reduce your energy or your physical energy. For example, if we have breakfast, cereal for breakfast with a lot of sugar, it's going to
Hmm.
be like a rush for
Yeah.
some minutes or some hour, but after that, for the rest of the day, we will be like, uh, so dress your cereal, like with fruits, protein, something that you can accompany with and be better for your health. That's something that I would recommend.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I think when it comes to food, like let's say like we think about energy management, right? And then at first, of course, everybody has motivation. Okay, I'm gonna do this, right? I'm gonna eat this, right? And then, but we when we live, it means like we need to think about the long term, right? Sometimes like we can eat certain amount of food. I don't know, like for a month or 2 months after that, you don't want to look at it anymore. Like for example, back in the days, like a very at the beginning of this year, right? I hit the gym and then I ate like chicken like almost every day. And after 2 months, I feel like I don't wanna look at it anymore. So at the time, I learned that okay, it's not sustainable. So I need to, do
Yeah.
something more sustainable. Of course, eating um uh chicken is also important, but I want, I need to make things more, I mean, flexible for me, you know what I mean? Something like that. But these days, what is working for me is I try to eat a lot of protein in the morning, first thing in the morning. I think it really helps me. Like it keeps me like really full until afternoon, and then I feel like you know I don't feel any like emotional discomfort so far. I mean, so far, so it's really helped with my productivity as well. So I just want to share my experience.
And
Okay.
also something that I will tell also, because for example in August case, he's hitting the gym, so he needs protein, right? Extra protein. In a regular diet, we already fulfill the amount of protein that we eat, but what we don't fulfill is enough fiber. That's why
Mm-hmm.
fiber is very essential for our health as well, and many people don't mention, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
protein takes the starring role because it's about muscles and being fit and which is super good. Of course, it's amazing, right? But also fiber. That's why they recommend you to eat veggies and whole grain foods too, because it's essential for your gut health. And remember that our emotions are not only in our brains, they come also from the chemicals produced in our guts. So it's also essential and key.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, that's very true. You want to add something, Point?
Um, for me, I'm just thinking like I'm not pushing for the morning person agenda. I mean, it's not the perfect model out there, not because out there I know that there are also night owls, and I feel that is completely normal. What I'm just sharing is just from a perspective of a person who worked from 9 to 5. So I was lucky that my routine as a morning person fits my job, but it doesn't mean that being a morning person would fit other jobs. So just something to be critical here, so that you won't feel ashamed of the type of person that you are.
It's
Yeah. So
good.
yeah. So that's why I'm seeing some kind of questions like, okay, what should I do as this? What should I do as that? But it just from a personal experience. And yes, and another thing that I feel very lucky is that as a Vietnamese person, we always include veggies in our meals. So that's why
Mhm.
even for breakfast, I also need to have vegetables as well. So that's why whenever I go out and when I hunt for restaurants, I always try to make sure that it has protein, carb, but also veggies as well. Yeah, like a balance something there.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's good that Koi is the one who's saying, I don't want to push any agenda, but I do want to push the morning agenda. Because actually it is not beneficial for us to work at night. I know many people are night owls, and I'm not criticizing that. I'm just talking in general terms, okay? This is not about like I'm talking about specific people, but our brain actually also has a cycle. So if we should, as a recommendation, right? We should try to respect that cycle, because it's actually during night that our brain has like the cleaning process, because I don't want to use like difficult terminology here. And if during the time that our brain is cleaning, we are doing other stuff, it's like it's gonna end up like suffering. I was a little bit scared because I'm a little anxious person, and I was reading last 2 weeks, I believe, that there are many studies that show that people who are awake between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. have more tendency to suffer any kind of mental issues and problems. So try to regulate. It's not always going to be perfect, but try to would be my recommendation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And one more thing I want to add here is we can change. Good news is like we can change our biological circle. I mean, actually, for me, it's really flexible. Like for example, I can be a night owl and I can be a morning person. So it depends. I it's like what for me, like it's better, to work out in the morning so that I can manage my day. Like for example, if I work out in the evening, like you work all day and then sometimes like you have something pop up, right? So it always affects my, gym routine. That's why I just finish the workout in the morning and then you can do whatever you want for the rest of the day. And it really works for me, this recommendation. All right, so there are a lot of questions from the audience, but we're gonna look at that later. Okay. So yes, right now we have been talking about. I think we have already talked about sleep, then, right? Of course, sleep is really important. And one more thing is like these days people suffer a lot from insomnia, right? And do you have any tips for that? Because like when it comes to again like physical energy, diet, your nutrition facts, and then also sleep. And we already talked about exercise a lot already, right? So I want to shift my focus to sleep as well. And I know sleep is important, and I think everybody is aware that your sleep is important. But the question is that the real question here is like, how do we go to sleep, and how do we get quality sleep, right? And that's the real question here,
Mm.
right? Okay, so I think Jeff wants to go first. Yes.
Ah, no, I'm just nodding. I'm saying like yes, sleeping is very important. Okay, if you
Yeah.
want me to go first, the thing with sleeping and is very, very complex because we human beings are actually complex. So the reasons for the insomnia could be different. So sometimes we can talk about the sleeping problems based on very simple things like maybe you drink too much water during the day, your system is still working, so you cannot go to sleep, or you ate a lot before going to sleep. That is mainly recommended to eat like at least 2 hours before the normal hour you go to bed, because if not, your stomach is going to be doing its business and you will not be able to sleep peacefully. Or if you will wake up and you will even have nightmares. It could be physical things like that. One thing that I highly recommend is again the cell phone use. uh, it's important to use if you're going to bed or you want to go to bed at 10 p.m. No cell phone after 9 p.m. No cell phone, no iPad, no computer, uh, and even try to block the blue light that the screen produces using some kind of filter if you're using it after 5 p.m. because that also um, like it stops the production of melatonin, which is the hormone that helps you to go to sleep. So that could be some physical reasons, but also we have emotional reasons. Is probably you have a tough day, right? Or you're having too many tough days in a row that also impacts your sleep. So journaling could be a good resource to do that. When you're having bad days, probably before going to sleep, having a notebook and writing all that you are feeling throughout the day, just put it there so it's not in your brain, it's not in your head anymore. Or having a conversation with someone you really trust and having a call like, hey, Koi, I have a bad day. Do you have 15 minutes to talk, and just let it go? So it's
Mm.
not in your brain because sometimes things get stuck, right? And we don't say things, so we have worries, and we just don't say it. We keep it in our brains to ourselves, and we just think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it, and that's why we cannot go to sleep. Those are like the main reasons that I think of, or at least the ones that happen to me. There are medical reasons. I'm not a doctor, not a physician, not a sleeping person, so I will keep these two because are the most common ones. So those are like the recommendations that I have.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. I think a lot. I think also another question popped up here, right? So okay, don't use your phone right before you go, like an hour before, and then so what are we gonna do, right? without
Oh,
alcohol. Right?
many things. You can
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
read, right?
Yes, 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 yeah.
Read physically read. You can write, you can paint. It could be like right now I'm trying to implement this in my life is like the me hour. What am I going to do? What I like to do? Or you simply can do nothing. That is something that I also like to share because it's something again that I talk with my therapist and is learn to get bored. It's super important for our mental health to be bored, do nothing, maybe stare at the ceiling, right? Because sometimes we are so worried about doing something, being busy, even with the stuff, but doing something that we have to occupy our minds and our time in something. And it's like, no, it's also important to be bored. So probably it could be the boring hour. Just don't do
Okay.
nothing. And if you are bored, then you will go to sleep because you have nothing to do or nothing to think. It will be even easier, probably, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I will say something like that.
Mhm. And I think it takes time and effort, I guess, right? Like to try to practice and to, I mean, to be practical. So, Point, you want to add in anything here?
Mm, I think the reason why so many people are worried about sleep is right now everyone is becoming more procrastinated, from what I can say. And from the morning until before sleep, you just keep doing something else, and you think that you have the time, all the time in the world, and you think that you have all the youth and energy that you have, so you keep procrastinating. So that's why when you before your sleep, your brain start working because there are still things that you haven't finished. And what I have read recently is very interesting in terms of like staying up late is a kind of revenge that your body wants you to experience, because you think that there's nothing that you haven't achieved. You haven't achieved anything during daytime. So another kind of achievement that you want to achieve is staying up late. And at the next day, you will be keep we will keep worried about like, okay, did I have enough sleep? So that's the sign of the body is telling you that, okay, do things, or else at night I will keep you up and thinking about all of those things. Yeah. And one thing that I would say that to ensure that you have a good sleep is like to move around a lot in the morning. As Ong and I have experienced these days that we like to go, he likes to go to the gym and I like to go to the park. So we wake up quite early and then we do all those kind of stuff. And of course, we have done so many things in the morning, and then when it comes to 10 or 10:30, we all get sleepy because that's all for the energy in our battery. So I guess would say spend the energy wisely and finish things that you're supposed to do. And then at night, you don't have anything to worry and then you can go to sleep. And one thing that I really like about Jeff is that he said that expose yourself to boredom. That's why when many people ask me, what am I doing? I'm just I'm breathing. I don't do anything at all. Before sometimes that I need time for breathing. And there's a very funny quote that I learned from RuPaul's Drag Race superstar Katia. She said that when I have a lot of free time, I want to keep it free. So when you have free time, do not feel like, okay, you need to do anything in it. Just keep it free and then spend time with yourself, talk to yourself, and also breathe. Just breathe. It's okay to breathe.
Hmm,
Yeah.
hmm. Okay, okay. So I think we are entering like the territory of mental energy as we keep talking right now, and emotional energy. So I think,
Mm,
yeah, right. One thing I want to add here is like trying to find some like activities like that replace your phone use. Like, and I don't know, like maybe you can do some yogurt, or like before you go to sleep, you can even stretch your body. I think that really helps me. Like in the day I couldn't sleep, but then this day before I go to sleep, I have like a half an hour routine, just half an hour. I think that's okay. Like for example, okay, you decided to go to sleep and then you turn on some like a on music on Spotify, I guess, and then you start to do your night routine, like for example, wash your face, do things slowly, like like that, and then think about tomorrow. Okay, if you go, so what time is, for example, what are you gonna wear tomorrow? So prepare for tomorrow. a little bit like that, right? And then trying to stretch your body, and then you feel sleep. You start to feel sleepy at the time, and then okay, then okay, see you tomorrow, like that. You really, and that really helps me a lot these days, right? All right. So, like I said, we have entered the territory of mental energy, I guess. So, because earlier I heard about, like, for example, like talk to yourself as well, and also about concentration a little bit, I guess. So, what is mental energy to you, like in your own words first? Yeah. Who wanna start first? Just go ahead. I want to choose. Is it okay? I
Mm,
guess, yeah, let's start with Jeff.
It's, it's
Hmm.
just like I understand, and I'm not by any means saying I don't believe in this division, but when you think about energy, I think about energy as a whole, right?
Mhm.
And this thing that we call physical and mental and emotional is just representation of the same energy. And they are actually, for me, of course, I'm talking from my perspective, is like a, let's use a word we hear a lot these days, interplay, all of these things, right? Happening at the same time, working at the same time, relying on each other, like everything. It's like a
Yeah.
mix of all, right?
Mhm.
So for me, energy is, or mental energy will be just that, the fuel that we use for our mental things, or the mental things or mental activities that we have,
Mhm. Mhm.
like writing our thesis right now, for example, or Koi planning his lessons because he is in the first week of class, right? And of course, all of you who are doing any type of mental activity, or even just dealing with our thoughts, because that is important, you know? Having these constant thoughts about something good or bad, it also takes away our energy. So, something that Koi was saying to us, like, just be bored, because it's also a way of self-love, right? Knowing that you don't have to do anything, you don't have to think about anything, and that you can let your brain rest for a little bit is really important.
Mhm. So, Clay, you want to add in anything here? Um,
Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to think of ways to distinguish between the mental energy and also emotional energy. So when I'm think of mental energy, it's more on the intellectual part, I guess. So the way that the energy that you use to process information. So it's about intellectual things, right? And also the energy that you use to stay focused. So I would say that, and also the another very important thing, that is to keep yourself sane. Do not go insane. That's what people usually say, right? To keep yourself, that know where you are. Mm.
okay, okay. So I think I want to add here something, like, for example, I think when it comes to mental energy, these days, okay, I think people get distracted a lot, okay? Especially because of social
People
media.
love multitasking. People love
Mm.
multitasking.
Yeah. So I think, according to what I have researched, I think our brains is, I mean, mostly our brain is not, how to say, function. I mean, that's not function. I mean, that's not do like multitasking like all the time. I mean, it can focus one thing at a time, and then that way, I think it can increase our, I don't know, productivity, workload, and everything. But what happened to me? What happened to me in the past? Okay, just like, on and off. Let's say, like, I wanted to share in my experience like a month ago. Um, like, I try to do things, right? I mean, it requires a lot of mental energy. Like, I need to think, but then I cannot think because I keep, getting distracted, like my phone and everything. Um, Whenever I, look at my, for example, like thesis, and then and then and then I get distracted again. Now it's just that I can just focus on one thing. You know what I mean? Just it's really difficult for me to focus on one thing. So I think I believe, like, most of us here are also suffering from those kind of, right, experiences. And you raise your hand if you're with me, please. Am I the only one experiencing it? Right? Okay, thank you so much. I'm not the only one. I'm not going insane. Okay, thank you. So, that's why I think a lot of people are experienced like that, right? How to keep focused, right? That's I know that's a question here. How to keep focused, how to keep concentrated, like on one thing. Like you have one thing to do, and then just zoom out, like just focus on that thing and then like that. So do you have any tips or any practical actions that we should do, right, to keep our mind sane? Quite not go not going insane, right? Going to quite.
Um, I would say that again, it starts with knowing who you are because not everyone is capable of multitasking. And that also think that are you using multitasking as an excuse or to not finish anything, or is it are you really a multitasker and you don't know how to function as a multitasker? There are a lot of things that we can talk about this, but I would say for me, when I was like in my first 20 something, 21, 22 years old, I was very proud when I said that I am a multitasker. But now, as I'm reaching my 30s, only 2 years left until I'm 30 years old, I have feel that I'm more of a single tasker, if it's correct. So the thing is that to know how much time you can concentrate. For me, it's about 30 minutes max. So I know that during 30 minutes, I cannot do a lot of things. So it always starts with breaking things down to smaller tasks and build up backward. For example, if today I need to finish like a lesson plan, so I need to think, okay, what should I do from if I want to finish, I have to have this and this and that. So I work backward from it and just break it down into 30-minute portion of work. And whenever I accomplish something, I reward myself with a walk around maybe the office or the park or something, or maybe just get a good drink to reward myself because staying focused for 30 minutes for me is also a good point to feel good about myself. So I reward myself. Yeah.
Mm. How about Jeff?
Mm.
You want to say something
Yeah, I will go a little bit
deeper?
no deeper because I think what Koi is very essential actually about knowing yourself, and he already identified his working style, and that is essential for everyone,
Mhm.
right? But
Yeah,
maybe a
yeah,
little bit harsher with my answer, or raw. Let's use that word a little bit more raw with my answer. So, for example, multitasking, I will always recommend people to multitask only when it's needed. Let's use it as a resource for urgent things. We have many things to do and we have to make this right now, but not don't make it a working style or your favorite thing to do, because what happens when we multitask is that we can never fully pay attention to one thing. So it means the quality of our work will decrease inevitably. That is not There is no option that you can do three, four, five things because they will not have all your attention. So probably one thing will be better than the other, or they will be equally good, or maybe not as good as you could make it if you pay attention. And one thing that I have learned about when we cannot concentrate or really focus, I will always ask myself this question, and is, what are you avoiding? When you cannot concentrate or when you start multitasking, what are you avoiding? Let's say we are doing a job, we're doing I don't know, a school assignment, whatever we have to do. What am I avoiding by trying to do other things? What I found sometimes is I am avoiding feeling uncomfortable because I'm being challenged by the task, right? I feel like, oh, this is requiring a lot from me, and maybe I don't have the answers, and I don't like feeling that I don't have all the answers. So I'm going to try to postpone this as much as possible so I can reduce this uncomfortable feeling or the uncertainty that could bring some things.
hmm
So that's why I
hmm
told you, like, it's a little bit more raw, like harsh on ourselves, and it's sitting with yourself and ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Am I
Mm.
avoiding that I don't like doing this? that I don't like this task, that I don't think that I'm good enough to do it. So that's why I'm trying to focus my mind on other stuff. And probably you will find some answers. So you will say, no, no, no. Really is that I cannot concentrate today. It's not always about avoiding, but it's just one recommendation that I will give
Mm,
you because it will
mm,
give you more insights and to get to the point of something like Koi said, know
mm,
yourself, know your working style, what you like, what you prefer, which is important too.
mhm. All right. Thank you so much. So um, one thing I did hear a lot of students here, right? Our students, and probably teachers as well, and who are finding it hard to concentrate. And I hope it helps a little bit as well. And I want to add something here as well. One thing is like sometimes, right, like the task we're doing is so difficult that that could be one of the reason, right? Like to avoid doing things like, you know what I mean? That could be one of the reason. Another thing is like you just get distracted just because you cannot concentrate, like probably like ADHD, something like that, right? A lot of things. So in that case, what I usually do, um, and of course it takes a lot of time, but that I mean, what I do is like, um, you know, trying to set a timer, like 50-10. And have you ever tried that one, like 50 minutes concentration and then 10 minutes break, right? You know that
Mm.
one, right? If you are a beginner, you can start from 30 minutes or even 20 minutes. Okay, just get started somehow like that. Just trying to like turn off all the notification and just concentrate on like just start from like I don't know, like 20 minutes first, and then 10 minutes breaks like that. Um, and also trying to visualize what you're going to do, right? Trying to visualize means like what you're doing. Are you going to do IELTS? Or are you studying? Are you doing a thesis? Are you studying? Like trying to finish it in your mind first, so you know the process, right? And that really helps for me actually. Okay. And then here comes a question actually. So, because earlier I said about like break, right? Like let's say for example, 15-minute work and then 10-minute break. So most people feel that like after break they don't want to continue anymore. They feel tired. So what should we do during our break? You know, that will keep us more focused. Have you ever tried that? Do you have any tips for that
Not
when we are
using your
work?
phone, first of all, in the
Okay,
break is an
okay.
essential thing. And that's
Mm-hmm.
something that I do as well, because actually, again, the issue with the phone when we use it is the shoot of dopamine that we get.
Mm.
So it will take us in a rush. It will give us immediate pleasure, but then there will be a drop. That's what make us want to go back to the
Mm-hmm.
dopamine route. That's why we are like, okay, we are in the zone, right? Working. Okay, we deserve a break right now. What am I going to do? I'm going to check Instagram because something happened. You know what people nowadays call FOMO, the fear of missing out. So I have to check something. You start checking things, you start getting notifications, you get alerted, then peace again, but you want to go back to that. And it could be the phone or it could be other forms as well. So probably it will be better if in your break and you're with your friends, chat with your friends, share some ideas, do something like
Mm-hmm.
that, drink some water. I think I really like the idea that Koi gave and about how he rewards himself about walking, because walking is not only a physical thing, but it's like our main mode of transportation as human beings. So it feels like going somewhere is like a kind of like a metaphor. The same way you're going somewhere with your work, you are physically going somewhere. So you're like an equivalence. You keep going somewhere with that. And as we start exploring places and going somewhere, we got the motivation to keep going, keep going, keep going. So I really like the idea of walking, for example. That is something that I will start doing too.
Because the key topic of today is also productivity. That's why. So productivity means that you are projected like after the whole day, like, oh, okay, I feel productive today. So what does it mean, right? How did you do? How did you do that? Because that's why, like, it's really probably you are like you can concentrate in the morning, right? And then after lunch, and then you cannot function anymore. Something like so. A lot of people experience like that. So that's why I think the next question, and then, right,
I will
comes.
say something. For
Okay.
example, what about changing? And this is going to be a little bit sound a little bit hippie, but anyway, I will prefer to start talking about being meaningful instead of being productive all the time,
Mm-hmm.
because it sounds like you are meant to produce all the time. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it's like, of course, we have to produce. That's obvious. We have to do things. But I believe, for example, more in purpose and meaningful or meaning than being productive or disciplined. People like to talk about, oh, you have to be disciplined. And I'm like, no, I think you have to be purposeful. If you're purposeful, it will have better results, in my opinion. So that's why I say it sounds a little bit hippie, but it works for me.
Purposeful, right? Purposeful. Okay. So when you want to say anything about like being purposeful, yeah, like for example, I think it's probably it's about what we do, right? It's I think it's more like a general term, and it's really deeply connected to our what we do. Like for example, our job. Why do we do what we do? Something like that. I guess. Why do we study, right? I think it's right now we're talking about that. I guess, all right, about being purposeful. So do you want to add in anything here?
Mm, I feel I'm gonna bore everyone with what I'm going to say because again, you need to
Yeah.
know how the person you are. So for
Uh-huh.
me, I'm a morning person. I'm very productive or I'm very purposeful before lunchtime. So
Mm-hmm.
what the work that I choose to do, for example, if I have to produce new idea, it has to be in the morning. And then after lunch, it would be just of like receiving information. And then for nighttime, very, very bad energy thingy because it's just almost the time that I need to rest. So I know, okay, so that's why I know how to categorize the work. And also, yes, that I remember I once talked to a friend, I think. He said that in my work there will always in my work there will always be something random pop up and it will affect my work. How can I schedule my
Yeah.
time? So
Mm.
if you know that there will be something random pop up, so save some spot or save some slot in your day for those kind of things. So
Mm.
if you feel that it's gonna pop up every afternoon or every morning, so just save some time for it. Don't let the random things affect your routine. So it will make your life easier as well. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. So so I mean it's also, then it's about emotion as well, right? Emotions. So what do you usually like let's say for example something random pop up and then it affects your emotions. At the time, like how do we regulate our emotions again? You have any tips? Or is there anything you usually do to regulate your emotions?
Yeah.
You can go first, Koi.
Okay.
Um, I don't really believe in the word regulation or bad, or I feel like because we are living, so
Mm.
chaos is a part of life. So just accept whatever is coming at you and then deal with it and move on. So you don't have to keep thinking, oh,
Yeah.
I'm having a problem again, and or like I'm having a bad day today. It's life. You have good moments and then you have bad moments, so you have to accept it. And for the thing about emotion is that it I feel like emotion is your biggest friend, but also maybe your biggest enemy. Sometimes
Mm.
you think that you should follow your emotions, but sometimes you should not listen to it. And one thing that, again, this is personal experience. One thing that really helps me is mindfulness, meditation. So
Yeah.
mindfulness meditation, it's if I'm pronouncing it correctly, it's called Vipassana meditation. So
Mm.
it's not just it's not the concentrated meditation. in concentrated meditation, you really have to really concentrate and then just focus on breathing. But for mindfulness meditation, it's about focusing on the chaos of life. So what is
Mm-hmm.
happening around you, you acknowledge it. So it
Mm-hmm.
really helps me to feel very, I think the word is calm or maybe tranquil whenever things happen. Just let it happen and then deal with it. That there is no way that we can get a life that is exactly what we want, or there's no way that we can prevent bad things happen in our life. So just deal with it and then enjoy things that the experience that you have after it as well.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think that's one way to regulate as well, right? So like, and then when it comes to, and I think, I mean, personally, I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I mean, of course, we experience it, but then I didn't have like the I don't know, like the word like literacy or intelligence. I was so for example, we have what are the movies again? About the emotions.
Inside out, right?
Inside Out, right? Inside Out 1 and 2. And after watching those two movies, like I understand a little bit more about those uh the how to accept your emotions when it's natural, something like that. So I think that's also one way to regulate our emotions, I guess. So just let it be, right? I mean, and then accept it and be with it. It's life, always happen, right? Like that. So Jeff, you want to add anything here? How do you usually
I
deal
think
with that?
yes, many things, but one thing is like I couldn't agree more with Hoy about what he said. I believe in emotional regulation when you are angry and you just regulate yourself not to hit someone. I believe in that totally. Okay. Don't let your anger and your passion do harm to other people or to yourself. But these days, there is something that really worries me is about the avoidance of being uncomfortable or the avoidance of being sad or the avoidance of being stressed or anxious or all of this. And I will tell you, there is nothing more damaging for ourselves than that avoidance. Yeah, again, of course, if your anxiety is telling you to push someone, it's like, okay, you need to regulate yourself. Of course, don't do it, please. You cannot harm others, you cannot harm yourself. But being sad is not bad. Being stressed is not bad. Being anxious is
Mm.
not bad. None of that is bad. And as August mentioned, and he talked about a very important movie, is that we learned that our emotions and our feelings are actually one of the many survival mechanisms that we have as human beings. Sadness is telling us something about ourselves. Fear
Mm.
is telling us something about ourselves, the same way happiness. And the most important thing is accepting the nuances of life. You know, life is not about being happy.
Mm.
Life is not about being comfortable. So normally when people ask me what is it, of course, this is just my opinion and the way I normally explain it. It's not even mine. I stole it from a very important psychologist. He said the goal of life is not happiness. The goal of life is an adventure because adventure is like a roller coaster, right? It has highs, it has lows, it takes you really, really, really up and then drops you. But at the end of the day, if you go to the roller coaster, you're going to enjoy the highs and the lows because all of it is part of the adventure. So like this is my recommendation is like don't buy those narratives of life has to be happy and
Mm.
comfortable and we only accept positive energy. No, negative energy is needed as well in our lives.
Mhm.
Dealing
Yeah.
with people with bad energy is essential for us to learn how to differentiate one thing from another,
Mhm.
to get skills to deal with uncomfortable things, right?
Mhm.
So that's something that I will say. Regulate yourself if you want to hit someone. If not, just feel it, go through
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's why
You
I
will
feel
see that
like
you will survive.
everyone should be aware of the term toxic positivity. Like you
Yeah,
just
Yes,
yeah.
it's
try to keep
essential.
yourself positive all the time, it becomes like a toxic, no? Like you feel like, oh, I have to be happy all the time,
And it's a
Yeah,
comfortable.
lie. You're
Yeah,
lying to
that's right.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I think here comes the big term, right? Like learn to accept, learn to roll with the event, like learn to how to say, roll the roller coaster of
Yeah,
life.
and even like not to accept. Sometimes you don't have to accept the things that happen to you. Just say they happened to me. I can do anything about it. Let it be.
Okay, everyone, let it be.
Let it be.
Let it be. Probably we should say let it be today. All right. So I think yeah, we have covered like most of the things already, but we still have like some more questions, I guess. And I think right now what I'm thinking about is like because earlier we also talk about it, like for example, do nothing, right? Do nothing. It means I think it's also about and resting, I guess. And the people, including myself, it's like it's really hard not to do anything, right? It's like our phone is our habit, right? If we don't do anything, like we just grab our phone automatically besides right next to us, and then
Yeah.
it's just automatic, right? So I mean, how do we? And then comes, I think it's also about awareness, right? I think we need to train ourselves to be more aware of what's happening, I guess. So do you have anything, that anything that help you I don't know, like getting more aware of what you're doing? Like for example, sometimes we're using our phone, but then and then why am I using our phone, right? It happens to me. Why am I supposed to be doing this and then I'm on my phone, right? So I think it's about awareness as well. So do you have any like practical tips to be more aware, like to be more mindful, I guess? I mean, of course, it's about mindfulness again. And then, but do you have also any other tips? Like just basic stuff, small steps, I guess, baby steps. I think that's where we should get started because we talk about mindfulness and then we do it like for 7 days and then it's not sustainable and then gone anymore. So what is the practical thing that we can start right away, right now, like something like that?
I think question yourself why you are doing something. You know,
Hmm.
I'm going to be really honest. I really don't believe in these things about giving tips or the easy steps to do things. Because as we are saying, like life and being a human being is complicated and it's complex in itself. So if we try to reduce everything to tips, we are like simplifying our existence, which is not simple. So it sounds a little bit like, oh, philosophical and blah, blah, blah. But uh, I see myself and I have been myself many times in those positions in which I'm saying like, okay, today I'm going to stop not using the phone first thing in the morning. And then I woke up and I grabbed the phone and I check it and it's like, I said no to myself. So I'm going to be conscious and saying, I'm doing this because it's just an instinct right now, something that I'm used to. So I'm putting it down. It doesn't mean that you're not going to do it. It means if you're doing it, it's like, think why? Why am I doing this? Right? Don't go blindly into it. Like, oh, I grab it. Oh, I unblocked my phone already. So I already unblocked it. There's nothing I can do. So I'm going to start scrolling. It's like, no, even in the middle of scrolling, okay, why am I doing this? I said, no. I said that I'm going to, right? And this is not a tip, but that is something that I really think it's important is keep the promises you make to yourself,
Hmm.
right? It's essential because it's a way of saying, like Koi said, that you love yourself, that you value yourself. If you promise yourself not to use the phone or not to do something or to do something, remember you promise this to yourself, not to someone else. It's to yourself. So keep it, keep it. Try to do it. It doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. It means okay, maybe in the middle of breaking your promise, you realize you're doing it and you stop doing it, right? It's not about perfection, it's about practicing, trying to do it, keep the promises to yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that also help with our confidence and self-esteem, I guess, because like keep if we break up the promises to ourselves, I feel like we keep losing our confidence because you don't trust yourself anymore, something like that. So I think that's a really, for example, today, actually, I felt really tired because of what I did yesterday. But I promised myself to work today. So, okay, I'll go to the university and work, and then I will, okay, get I mean, some rest this, for example, Saturday, and then I try to keep, how to say, promise myself, and then at the end of the day, oh, okay, I did it, right? I mean, that's why I'm proud of myself, like of what I did today, something like that. I think that's how you become, how to say, I know a better version of yourself, I guess, a little bit by bit. Of course, you cannot just build everything at one day, just go bit by bit, trying to do something like just a bit by bit, I think, something like that. Yes.
There is something that one of my favorite writers says, and she said, like, we human beings can really predict the future because we can make promises and we can keep them, right? So the way we can read the future is when we make a promise and we keep those promises. We make those things a reality. So we can read our own future. We can build our own future. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, right? That is essential as well. No matter how many tips you have, no matter how many strategies you have, no matter how many people are around yourself trying to help you, you are always going to fail. The important part is that you can recognize when you fail and go back to your strategy. Go back to the way you manage things. That's something that I have learned in therapy a lot. I have
Mhm.
many strategies to manage my anxiety. I still get anxious, and sometimes I don't know how to manage. And I just leave the anxiety, and then I go back to my strategies, right? So it's okay. It's not a perfect path or road.
Yeah, there's no perfection. So I think so far what we have talking about, Quay, do you want to add anything, by the way?
I was very surprised at the moment you asked me like how any tips on how to do nothing. Just do nothing in
Yeah,
terms of like when
I,
you
pro-
I don't know
uh,
whether you have like
trust me, but trust me, like it's easy for some people, but it's really difficult for some people as well.
yeah for
Anybody with
just
me? Anybody with
sometimes
me?
just
I
sit
will not.
there and do nothing, right?
Uh, I don't really think it's easy for no one, for anyone to do nothing because our brain is always going to be, you know, thinking on something or trying to do something is difficult. But sometimes the problem is, again, something that I have learned. When you do nothing, you have to be with yourself. And sometimes one of the things we are avoiding is being with ourselves, admitting things to each other. So I have
Um
to do this, I have to do that, I have to run to this place, blah, 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 because sometimes you cannot stand being alone and in silence with yourself.
hmm. But I think like maybe have you ever heard of the terms look into the void or look like space out? Those are
Yeah.
the moments where you just be with yourself and those are the moments just like you don't do anything. So sometimes I guess the tip is to find a weird space, just look at it and then
Avoid,
you
find
avoid
avoid.
yeah, completely like avoid a nothing zone or something. Just look at it and then just sit there, like stand there, or even lie on your bed and just look at the ceiling. Yeah,
Sometimes
do
do that.
the tip is that.
Sometimes, no, what are you doing?
Oh,
People ask me, what are you doing? No, I'm just thinking, I'm doing nothing. Yeah. Okay. Um, so I think we have like covered a lot of things today, and then I think I would like to conclude. I mean, for the listener here as well. So like if you I think here I think the main take today is like to keep promise, right? So for example, you're going to manage your day, keep promise. The promise that you give to yourself, right? Then you'll be able to do a lot of things. Like, of course, it's not everything, but then a lot you can achieve a lot of things, especially like your day, for example. You want to finish, I don't know, like IELTS, passage 3 today, you want to do it. Just promise yourself and then do it. You want to go to sleep early, promise yourself and then do it, right? And you want to I know, work out, promise yourself, and then do it. And that way you can achieve your confidence and a lot of things, I guess, right? So, um, so anything you want to add in here, like something that you want to keep saying more?
Like to close.
And yes, after this, like I have like some a little bit preparation as well.
Uh,
It's like a quick fire round questions.
because we talked about many things today. I will tell you too. Uh,
Like yeah, as
this
a
is like
conclusion.
yeah. Just don't simplify your existence. With like only happiness, only being comfortable, and especially these days that I have. This is something that I see a lot on social media. Like everything is explained in the way of red flags or green flags or gaslight or these things that we have become so used to here, but we don't really know what we're saying because this is essential. These are the things we believe in, right? This is the way we're trying to manage our mental health. So don't simplify things that much.
Mhm,
Don't
mhm.
don't don't rely your mental health on memes and internet
Yeah,
jargon and internet
yeah,
lingo, please. That will be my recommendation.
yeah, right. A lot. I actually just
Everything
like
is toxic. Everything is a red flag, or that's it.
no.
That's how we're explaining the world today. No, no, no. Your mental health is more than that.
Okay. Do you have any key takeaway for the audience, right?
Mm, I think I will end my sharing with this one. If you don't love yourself, who will? All the things
Mm.
that you have done to your body, all the things that you have done to your mental health, whatever energy it is, if you don't love yourself, who will? And also don't wait until it's too late to realize that there are things that you cannot get back. Yeah.
Yeah, really. Um, okay, I think that's a really good takeaway for today's topic, I guess. So love yourself and love yourself and know how to love yourself as well. Okay. All right. Um, so right now I want to have like I will ask you like a few questions, okay, to both of you. It's like but you can only you need to answer it, okay, right away after my questions. Like you can only give me like one or two words, like just like that, okay? Okay. So first of all, um, what do you do? Is there any of the questions like this ending? Like your instant energy booster, like when you feel really down. Like and there are a lot of people asking you, instant energy booster. Like that's something that makes you boost your energy like quickly. If you
Talking
have
with my
anything.
friends.
Okay, my friend. Okay, have a quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking with friends, talking
Talking
with
with friends.
people.
Okay. So next thing is um your favorite, your personal true rest.
True rest.
Uh,
Means like relax or something, right?
yeah, it could be.
At least 7 hours of sleep at night.
Okay, favorite, right?
Yeah,
Personal.
a good sleep.
A good
Yeah.
sleep. Everyone go to sleep. Okay. And next, what is the best energy investment?
Energy investment in
Yeah, something that you invest for you to keep your energy, I guess.
Oh yeah, I know. Mine is easy. Like listening to good music. It
Okay, listen.
immediately gives me energy.
Uh, okay.
talking to yourself.
Talking to yourself. Okay, I think that's probably that could be our main another topic, like how to talk to yourself, right? How to talk
Yeah.
to yourself. Google, guys. Okay. Um, okay. Next one is mm, how about like the most neglected I don't like underappreciated, I guess, things in energy management, like when you do and manage your energy, most neglected,
Sleeping.
is it sleeping?
Yeah. People think a
Sleeping.
lot about or talk a lot about food, right? A
Uh-huh.
lot about exercise, and normally they don't talk about sleeping. And sleeping is even more important if we put a hierarchy. It's even more important. And drinking
Mhm.
water is even more important than food. Water, being
I
hydrated.
have I have water with me. I have drank like I don't know four bottles today.
We can survive more time without food than without water.
Uh-huh. Have a quick
Breathing.
breathing.
Sometimes the most basic thing can really help
Yeah.
you to be in the present. Is focusing on your breathing and knows how
Mm,
to breathe correctly in
mm.
doing exercises or while walking or while doing work, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes, trying to slow things down as well. I think like sometimes like we are always in a rush, mostly because we procrastinated a lot, right? Probably we start to work by the deadline, so like we're always in a rush. So trying to, I think one more thing, one key things to I want to add here is like people a lot actually talk about time management. That if you don't have enough sleep, I mean, don't think about any time management at all. No, no time management at all. So I think it's always like the how to manage your day, how to manage your energy is always on the first, hierarchy actually. So I think if you can just, manage your day, manage your energy, then time management, follows. So you don't need to even think about it actually, of course, right? Just like that. So yes, I guess that would be the end of our panel discussion for today. And the I think the floor is open for questions. But before that, what about why don't we take a picture, all of us first? Okay. Yes, it's a picture time. Oh, we have two pace. Yeah. All right, everyone. Yes, I think yeah. Please, if you are okay, turn on your camera. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can Okay, are you ready? So I will take a picture first. Okay, three, two, one, go. All right. Wait a sec. I got my first picture. Hmm. And then I think we have another page. Okay, one more. Three, two, one, go. Okay, got it. Okay, thank you so much. So right now, you can ask the panelists questions. Like, probably you can type in the chat, or you can just directly ask them. Okay, whatever you have in your mind. Well, you can do it. So you promise yourself, right, to ask questions. So go ahead.
Can I suggest something?
Sure, sure.
We have a lot of questions in the chat, so maybe Jeff and I, each of us can choose one or two questions that we would like, and we are confident that we can answer, then we can go with it.
Sure, sure. So I'm not gonna read the question now, okay? Just pick the question that
Yeah.
you want to answer.
So how much time do we have left?
Yeah, so we still have time, like around 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I already got mine.
Okay, you can go first.
This is a question. Someone asked, can you give me a cereal recommendation, based on how healthy they are? So the first recommendation is don't eat cereal, at least not packaged cereal. What I do is that I switch cereal for oats, right? Just simple oats. And the way is how you give flavor to the oats. Actually, the oats have a really nice flavor, in my opinion. So what I do is I eat it with soy milk, and I put cacao powder, real cacao powder, and maybe you can put a little bit of sweetness to it. But with the apple, or with maybe you can mash a banana, which is very sweet, and mix it. And I
Mm.
guarantee you that it will be super duper good. Because the problem with the cereal, and I understand why you like it, is addictive. Very addicting because it has a lot of sugar. And again, sugar give you dopamine spikes. It takes you to the sky like a rocket, but then the drop will be horrible. And that's why you keep going back for more sugar because your brain gets used to it. So if you can start reducing the amount of sugar you take during the day, time by time, day by day, you will start noticing like, oh, I don't miss sugar that much, you know? It's like I can start consuming less and less. The goal is never to eliminate it, because when we get so radical with things, then when we go back, it will be worse because we will start eating more. So don't deprive yourself completely, but manage the amount of sugar. And of course, try not to consume sugar in the first thing in the morning as a breakfast, right? That would be my recommendation.
For me
Those,
now,
yeah.
I want to address all of the young people in the comments that say Gen Z problem is about back pain, shoulder pain, all kind of pain. You know why you are having that? Because you are using your phone too much. Instead of finding a way to sit properly, and instead of finding a way to stretch, you just go this with your phone. Of course, your back is gonna yell at you and make you feel pain. So instead of wasting time on the doom scrolling, go learn about anatomy so you know how to stretch properly. Because for anatomy, they will show you what kind of muscle, what kind of joints, or what kind of bones are there. And you know how to, learn from it, and then you know how to adjust. There is no correct way on how to sit because different people have different spines and different bone structure. So you need to learn about your own body structure so that you can adjust. Hmm. And remember, you are younger than most of the people who are speaking here. So you should not be
Way
the one.
younger.
Yeah.
No, I'm younger. Well, one more thing I want to add here is like, how to say? Yeah, yeah. Actually, most of the problem, most of the problem is like to just, I mean, if you can solve it by reducing the amount of time of, your phone usage and especially social media, I guess, really. So trying to limit yourself social media and, trying to find some replacement, trying to replace the activities. And I think, I mean, if I had a chance, I mean, I would love to learn more about, I don't know, like nutrition, I guess, because that way, I mean, we know more about our body, right? Like really, I think that's really help us. Like if you can met with, I think, I mean, in Burmese as well, in English as well, we have words, right? Like what, I think in Burmese, what is it? Asale se sile asa, right? Like what we eat is our medicine, right? Really. So what
Your
would you
medicine be your cure, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, really. So be careful about what you eat, what you consume. That's really important. That's what I noticed as well. So we'll learn about, I guess, like nutrition facts, and then again, like know yourself, trying to get to know yourself. I think one tip is like if you want to know more about yourself, trying to do a lot of things, and you will understand. Okay, I don't like this. I like this. I'm this kind of person. So trying to be involved in a lot of activities, really, and that way you can
Yeah.
get to know more about yourself. If you don't do
And and
anything,
don't and don't define yourself by being Gen Z. Because if you immediately say I'm Gen Z, you get all the characteristics of Gen Z and you can never explore yourself. Look for other things. You're human. You see, it sounds how old I am, but it's okay.
and probably the audience is guessing your age.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of questions. And then one we have like one question right now. Like, what is it? Uh, oh, I think this
Well, there
one.
is
This
something
question.
that
Yeah, yeah. Okay, go ahead. I think you see
there
the
is
question.
someone that uh, some of you were discussing here about the avoidance thing, right? And that sometimes what we tend to avoid is we avoid trying to make mistakes and trying to disappoint people and things like that. And I read that immediately as it popped up like 20 or 30 minutes ago because I can recognize myself in that. That's one of the things that I avoid myself most, making mistakes. Like, no, I cannot make mistakes because I have to be like this or like that. And I start like, pushing myself and placing myself in positions that I have to be um, good all the time, not making mistakes. But at the end of the day, I think that the answer is quite simple. At least perfection does not exist. It's impossible. When when you make something perfect about yourself, you will notice all the other imperfect things, and it's going to be infinite. And when we
Mm.
focus on making one thing perfect, we somehow ignore all the other things that also need work. So you see, it's like a circle all the time. So the thing is, we are never going to not make mistakes. It's a human natural part of every process. Nature makes mistakes as well. Everything. Like, even in the theories that we have about the universe, that everything says that the universe has everything perfect. There are mistakes in the cycles, there are mistakes in the processes, there are mistakes in evolution. So that is not, and that's something that I tell myself every day because, like I told to the people who agree with that comment, I recognize myself in that. So the first, the best thing to do that is to accept that we are imperfect by nature, by default, and that mistakes are a natural step of learning what to do and how to do it. I will say that.
And for me, I would like to address like 2 to 3 questions at the same time with just one answer, because when I see these kinds of questions, for example, there's a person that asked me how much full should I be in the morning when it comes to breakfast?
Mhm.
Also, how do you handle to get energy again and refresh? Another
Mhm.
one is, uh, okay. I've when you ask me that question, or you ask that big question in the comment, it means that you don't know who you are. I mean, like, how can another person determine how full you are and how full you should be? It should be you who decided how much food should I have in the morning, and it should be you who observe how much food should I have that I can function properly. There's no amount to it. And also, when you say you want to refresh, right? What makes you feel refreshed? And before having no energy left, what is the point that makes you have no energy? So you
Mm.
should be the one who answer that. And one thing that I have learned from my life up until now is that if it is a good comment, then I will take it. If it is something that is not me, I will not take it. I will not
Mm.
let anyone direct my life. So it's always about you who know who you want, who know what you want, and it should be you who tell what you want, not by asking other. You are on your own expert. Don't let other dictate you like how much full you should be or how to stay fresh or energy. People have very different things. Like what Jeff
Yeah.
said, every person is unique and every person is very complicated. There's no way that another person can tell you what to do. It's you who knows you and can help you.
Mm.
Yeah.
And one more thing I want to add here is like it's okay to make things, but for example, today I eat this amount and then you feel too full, and then you already know it, right? Just learn from the mistake. Next day you're trying to fix it again. So that's how life is, I guess. Did you?
Mm.
That's how life is, really. So okay, yeah. Wait. Okay, yeah, really. So I think the key takeaway, another key takeaway is like really I get to know you. But I know actually it's really difficult for me. Like, to know yourself is a journey, really. I to know your to know I so far I mean I I think nobody of course, like we know
Because
about ourselves, but then like it's not like fully you trying to, find out about yourself like every single day. And it's really hard for me as well. Back in the day, I didn't even know what I liked, really, what I like to
because
wear.
knowing yourself is not a complete
Mm.
task.
It's a
Mm.
journey.
Actually, we say know yourself as a simple way to say like try to know some things about yourself, or at least the ones that are more relevant to you, because we never know ourselves, right?
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's really impossible. When we said like, or this is how I interpret what Koi says, is when he said know yourself, is he knows himself when it's related to work, and maybe he knows himself in other aspects of life, but he doesn't know himself in every single thing and every single detail. Because
Yep.
Mm.
imagine also how uh, boring it will be life if we know everything about
Mm.
ourselves. What will be the
Yeah.
journey? What will be the real meaning of life if we are not looking for anything anymore because you already know everything? So that is the
Right.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's like,
also from what you said now, you said that it's a journey. So during that journey, I feel like there's a kind of avoidance there in terms of like we are afraid that when people ask you, do you know yourself, you answer and then you cannot give them the answers. Of course, you don't know the full story about yourself. Yeah, it's very normal and make mistakes along that way so you know how to avoid that mistakes, not avoiding the feeling of not knowing yourself.
Mhm. Yes,
Mm.
So
and
maybe we
also,
can we can we can say instead of know yourself is be self-aware. Another
Mm.
yeah,
way
so
to say it.
Getting to know
right.
you.
Recognize
Mm.
some patterns about yourself, some things about yourself that will help you, and try to apply those patterns in spaces that you can use them. And if there are no patterns for some situation, just leave the situation as it comes.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. And one more thing is don't I mean trust um what is it? The memes on social media a lot. FOMO. I don't know
Life
why
is not
that's
about memes. Memes don't explain life for sure.
yeah, a lot of things, really. And okay, so any other questions?
Nah, I don't think. How often do we need to make our no? No, I think we cover everything today.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a lot. We cover a lot. So I think it's about you. Okay, go find out about yourself and don't
It's
expect it
about
like you will know about yourself fully. Something like that. But one more actually for today participant, I have also a gift. Do you want a gift today? Participants? I have a gift.
we are participants too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
you already have it. Okay, you already have a lot. Okay. So I have a gift, which is actually if you want to know more about how to manage like your energy, something like that. Like I have a book for you, and it has a lot of pages, of course. So just trying to find some time to read it. And actually, there are also audio version everywhere on YouTube or Spotify like that. Whether you can, if you prefer audio version, just go and listen to that. And if you prefer book version, here it is. I'm sending it. Three, two, one, go. Okay, it's there. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's the book, and that's um a really, really, really good book about um energy management, the power of full engagements, actually. So, and I would like to conclude our topics today um by sending this PDF actually. Anyway, so thank you so much, like our two panelists first, Jeff and Koi, and of course, thank you so much for your participation here today, like our participants. And actually, we are a conversation club. If you're here for the first time, we are actually a conversation club. So we usually run um every Thursday, 7:30 Yangon time. If you are in Thailand or Vietnam, I think it will be 8 p.m. actually. Okay, so you can come here and talk to other participants, practice your English, talk about a lot of things. And it helped me a lot as well. And I believe that it will help you as well, right? In your English journey as well. And also in terms of finding out about yourself as well, I guess. So promise yourself to join our conversation club and come here, okay? So now here's the time for feedback. Can we get the feedback form, please, in the chat? Okay, here we go. So you can give us like honest feedback on today's section as well, and I don't know what you want in the future as well. So we sometimes like have actually I think it's been a long time we have had like this kind of discussion. Yes, so that's why. So and also we are going to call for volunteer, right? I mean next month, I guess, right? No, next month, right? Actually, it's really coming closer. So if you are interested, you can come apply as well, and you can talk to someone else and your friends as well about that. So thank you so much. And if you are done filling the feedback form, I guess you can leave for today. And thanks again for joining. Okay. So
Bye-bye. It's
have a
my
good night. Good.
bedtime.
Yeah, go to sleep, guys. Go to sleep. Sleep
Bye,
is
everyone.
really
Thank
important.
you. And remember to love yourself.
Yeah, go to sleep and love yourself. Bye bye.